Today's episode is brought to you by the Kansas City-produced film Doll Eyes, playing July 31st at the Glenwood Theater in Overland Park, Kansas. Also by Border Brewing Company and Imagine That KC, located at 2010 McGee Street in Kansas City, Missouri. Today, Nivens converses with Jay Berry, the product coordinator at Imagine That. They discuss how Imagine That KC works with artists who have intellectual or developmental disabilities and how they thrive working on art projects spanning from painting, ceramics, music, gardening, and more. They also talk about Imagine That bands by the names of I Threw a Chair and Off a Beaten Path on a Pack. Incredible band names. Now, through collaboration, communication, and creativity, Imagine That KC truly enriches so many lives through art. Thanks for your time, Jay Berry. The Prince of Possum Trot, the Mayor of Gullytown, a Kansas City kid. Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned in to Kansas City with Jason Nivens.
Stop out coming, run, fetch my lightning rod.
I think the first time that my curiosity was piqued by what you do, Jay, you were sitting at my bar, Border, shout out. And I heard you talking to, I feel like it was your wife or maybe it was somebody else, but you mentioned one of my artists, something is on the spectrum. And then my ears rang because my son's on the spectrum. Mm-hmm. So that led me to kind of like quietly going like, hey man, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And so here we are at Imagine That, Kansas City in the Crossroads. Why don't you tell them out there listening and watching who you are and what you do here?
Well, my name is Jay Berry, and I'm the product coordinator here at Imagine That. I've been here for about 8 years now. And
right in the Crossroads, 20th and McGee. What is Imagine That? Because I pass by the building, I see it all the time, and it finally like hit me today. Like, oh yeah, right. It literally says on the building, Imagine That. But what exactly is Imagine That, and what do you guys do here?
Imagine That is a day program for adults with developmental and intellectual disabilities. And what we do is help our artists and clients achieve the goals that they set for themselves. And a lot of them are centered around art. It is an art studio. So and these are artists who had a passion for art, and that's why they were suggested to come to Imagine That.
So when you say artists, what kind of art are they doing? What are we looking at? Like when we came in, Parker and I, when you met us at the door, you guys are getting ready for the next event, which you showcase on First Fridays, which makes sense because they're literally in the heart of the Crossroads. But what is some of the art that the artists do here?
Well, we've got artists who are very passionate about different things. There's one guy who really only does ceramics, and he'll just spin on the wheel all day, and he'll throw just the coolest little vases and cups and dishware, and he doesn't get tired of it. But then we've got other clients who want to dabble in everything. We've got clients who want to do music as well as, just visual arts. Yeah. Really, it's whatever artists bring to us and what they want to do. I mean, and it's our job to help them do it. And we've got the stuff for the most part to do. We've got screen printing stuff. We've got, like I said, ceramics. We've got a music room. We do video.
Yeah, we're going to see the music room here in a little bit. So that's definitely coming.
Digital artwork.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned that in the basement here, there's a beautiful old building. From the outside, it's kind of nondescript, and you walk in, you're like, oh man, high ceilings, old staircase. Kick-ass floor joists. I'm a nerd for that stuff.
They're
look
beautiful.
At that beam over there.
It's a huge.
But you've also got some woodworking in the basement. Is that right?
Yeah. And it doesn't get used as much because it is kind of out of sight sometimes. But there are projects where somebody wants to do something with wood. I mean, a lot of it. There was one guy who went through a phase of we just get skateboards donated, and he'd spend just sanding off the design and then painting on his new one. So that was something we do in the wood shop. But we do have, we could do some serious woodworking if we wanted to.
So that's going to be my next question is, how do you find your artists, and then where do you get your materials? You mentioned a bunch of donations. Is that pretty prolific where you have just trucks showing up and dropping stuff off? Or how does that work?
It doesn't happen that often like that. And sometimes, people, and they mean well, and they'll bring what they've got and they think, hey, I can see someone doing something with this. But then sometimes we'll just get a bag of denim pockets that have been ripped off of jeans. And it's like,
what am I going to do with this?
Cool. Like,
Right.
we can add pockets to things.
Okay. Yeah.
And then sometimes, sometimes we, like right now it's April and we're putting out a big call. Every April we do a big call for donations.
Okay.
But then we have a budget for some of the day-to-day, everyday stuff that we need.
But being a non-for-profit, obviously, like every little bit matters, every little bit helps. When you put out the call for donations, what exactly, or what, I don't know if it's even exactly, but maybe a broad spectrum are you guys looking for?
I really, the first thing that comes to mind is obviously paper, pens, pencils, that's this kind of stuff that is easy for people to, maybe they already have that stuff, or some art supplies that they have lying around they bought a few years ago. And they're like, wow, I have a ton of acrylic that I don't ever use and they need it, so I'll donate it. But then sometimes we get some really cool stuff too. I mean, one of our service coordinators donated a violin and donated a whole like electric piano. And so, honestly, I try not to get any idea of what we're going to get. I don't, we're not banking on necessarily anything. Right. But sometimes we do ask for specific things if we've got a big project we know is coming up. Yeah. But yeah.
So imagine that Kansas City, obviously it's here in KC, but it didn't start here. Is that right? It's like a kind of a branch of a larger tree?
Yeah. Imagine that is a program by Resources for Human Development, and they're out of Philadelphia, and we are one of their programs. I mean, they do everything and serve, a broader slice of the community than just who we serve here too. So, but we are just one of their day programs, one of 2 art studios in Missouri. There's another one in St. Louis called Fine Line. So it's kind of like a little sister studio for us. But yeah, we imagine that opened in 2012.
Okay.
Just a few blocks that way.
Okay. And
we've been in this building for, I think, 9 years now.
It's a long time to be in the crossroads.
Yeah.
For sure. So, and it somehow, you guys, like many of us, we somehow came through a little scathed, the pandemic. Yeah. How did that affect things for you guys? Obviously, everybody got shut down or shut out, but I mean, in terms of coming back from that, are you seeing as many artists? Are you seeing as much involvement from the community? Is it a day-to-day grind?
It took a little while, and we were definitely a lot more, we took a lot more precautions, and we kept those for a lot longer than I think a lot of the rest of, maybe the country did. Only because the people we serve, some people we serve are old. We've got people from 18 to 72, so we're just very aware of, the people we serve, and that, we're taking their health very seriously. So we were wearing masks for almost 2 years it felt really slow getting back into it. But, we're definitely picking up steam, and we're kind of just getting to the numbers that we were at as far as like our clients and staff goes, getting to those numbers that we were at before the pandemic. So
you mentioned 18 to 70 something. So it's, I guess, post-secondary is kind of what it is. Like you focus on after high school for those artists and whatnot. And then how do you find your artists?
Well, a lot of our artists, so a lot of the people we serve, they have service coordinators that don't work for us or RHD necessarily, but just for other programs. And I mean, the community's really good about spreading the word about, what the opportunities are. And a lot of the times it is service coordinators who have a client and they're like, hey, my client really likes art. And then someone's like, well, hey, have you talked to Imagine That? Have you guys checked out Imagine That? And then, more often than not, I think it's
word of mouth.
And then, just kind of the way that just the way that,
how people network and whatnot.
Yeah.
Sure.
How they network. I mean, it's kind of a system. It's a catch. We catch these people when they're leaving high school. You know what I mean? They're adults now. They need more support. They might have had need before. And then, so that network of people, they spread the word. They say, imagine that is a good spot for you. Imagine that.
And excuse me. I know
a good fit.
We mentioned having artists on the spectrum being autistic, cerebral palsy. I mean, you're talking about all just various forms of maybe mental or physical impairments, but their artistry is just like, that's the thing, man, huh? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I've always been a huge advocate for outside art. Everything else, it gets enough attention and stuff, but man, the stuff that we see here is stuff, not everybody gets to see,
right.
And just being a part of that and, just helping somebody get a voice that they didn't have beforehand, or any way of communicating that they didn't have. I mean, like I said, I've worked here for 8 years now, and there are some clients that, just seeing the growth in them over those 8 years is awesome and makes it all worth it. Just
tugs right there.
Oh man. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard to leave. That's why I've been here for 8 years. It's hard to leave.
Well, how did you get involved? How did you get this position here?
When I was doing a career change, I was doing IT. I was doing IT for about 6 years.
Okay.
And I did not like it, and I needed a career change. And actually, 2 friends of mine I went to high school with were working here.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, let me get a job over there. Send me the information. When you guys are hiring, let me know. I'd love to apply. Because I used to, right out of high school, when I was getting out of high school, I started lifeguarding at a camp called Camp Moja. Okay. And it's a camp for adults with developmental disabilities and intellectual disabilities. And so I had some experience working with this demographic already. Yeah. So, I was excited to check it out. And it was, I went to school for art. I did not go to school to do IT.
Right.
So, yeah.
So the working with special needs folks as a lifeguard, that's your personal, like how it affected you, or how you got sort of opened your eyes to it. It wasn't like you had a family member or something like that. But
no, I didn't. Well, in high school, there was a friend of ours that sat at our table. He was in the special education classes, and he was, a character, and he didn't have a whole lot of friends, but being my friends, he's just sat at our table and he just became our friend, And so I guess in a way our friend Adam from high school, he kind of opened, and in fact, another friend from that friend group, he's the guy who got me a job here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. And he's been here for 10 years. So
now you also have mentioned, I feel like we've talked about this a couple of times, there's a house band.
Yeah, we have 2 house bands.
2 house bands.
Yeah.
Where do you guys gig? Tell me. Is that
We've got I Threw a Chair.
I Threw a Chair is the house band.
This is our punk band. Yeah. We actually...
I'm laughing at his hat for those who aren't watching on the video. He has a hat that says I Threw a Chair, and that's one of the house bands.
Yeah. Okay. I Threw a Chair has been together for about 8 years now, 8 or 9 years now. And... we actually do a show here every year for the last 3 years.
Okay.
Because we have to do at least a show here. We've done some shows elsewhere. We did a show at Sister Anne's, the coffee shop. We did a show there a few years ago. Actually, that was before the pandemic.
Okay.
And then we did a show at KC Beer Co. a few years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a little hard because we've got accessibility issues, and mobility issues for one of the guys in I Threw a Chair is in a wheelchair, and there's not a whole lot of stages around here with ramps. Yeah, so, we built a stage with a ramp here,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's one of the things, I saw something over the weekend and it made me think of this is, a conversation you and I have had about accessibility issues in wheelchairs is that playgrounds for kids typically aren't designed for kids with special needs because they're wood chips, and wood chips stop wheelchairs. Yeah. And so Variety has been really working on developing parks in Kansas City that are 100% children accessible.
That's awesome.
All the way across it. So And it's kind of those things that I think when you're able-bodied, you sort of take it for granted and you don't really think about it.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, I never would have thought about that until you mentioned it, sort of thing.
Yeah. When your eyes are open to this community, you definitely see the world with a different filter on.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk about, not to get too deep, but sometimes, man, when I hear people talk about literally anything, they're never considering this community.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
and it is what it is. You know, I'm not like angry at anybody. It's not their first, you know, it's not the first thing that comes to mind.
Sure.
You know, but it is definitely one of those things that is not really part of the conversation half the time.
Yeah.
Until somebody brings it up.
And then you're like, oh man.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad, but I mean, let's consider this.
I'm lamenting the fact that they didn't have the pie I wanted at the store. And you're like, yeah, you know, so
Yeah.
you go to another store. You
Yeah.
know, right. Well, since we've talked about music and the house bands, I want to see the studio.
Yeah.
Can we do
we
that?
can go up there. Yeah.
All right, let's
do that.
All right, so we've made our way upstairs to the music studio. Parker's getting ready to get behind the electronic drum kit over there.
You're Phil Collins. Yeah.
I can feel it. Yeah, but you've also got you got two other drum kits here. You've got looks like a slap into bass and two guitars on the wall, some tambourines. Got to have the tambourines. Mm-hmm. I noticed you got an organ over there. You got piano over there.
Yep.
You've got keyboard there. You've got a poster for I Threw a Chair on the wall. I mean, dude, this place is legit, man. I love this room.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool. And I mean, a lot of this stuff has been donated. And so, you know, some of the stuff is just mine from home because
Really?
Like all that stuff right over there.
Okay.
But you know, we needed a synthesizer, man.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we only have keyboards. We don't have a synthesizer. So
Right.
mine. And the theremin sounds really good in our other house band. So
So you've got two house bands. I
Yeah.
Threw a Chair, and then what's the other one?
the other band is called Off a Beaten Path on a Pack.
Okay.
And that one is definitely, so I Threw a Chair is we've been around for a while. It's the punk band.
Okay.
And Off a Beaten Path on a Pack is the brainchild of one of our artists specifically. And she is just a creative well with no bottom.
Okay.
And is always got, 9 different projects and is able to keep track of all of them somehow. But Off a Beaten Path on a Pack is a concept band.
Okay.
The band is the crew of a spaceship, a sentient spaceship. And yeah, and she writes all the lyrics. She even writes all the music. She'll work in GarageBand at home, bring some files here. We'll decode them. We'll find the melodies and the stuff.
Right.
And then we'll all work together to construct a full-fledged song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we doing gigs? Are we playing shows? Where are we at with this?
Yeah, when we can, we love to do gigs and shows. In fact, I have been talking to you guys over at Border, and maybe we'll do something like that this summer.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
yeah. I just think it's when you think about art, music is a massive form of art.
Yeah,
it can be obviously a love song, a protest song, a fight song. But in terms of providing an outlet for people, man, I think that's what a place and what a medium, other than just ceramics or painting. Not to take anything away from any of that, metalwork, woodwork. I'm not taking away from any of that. But music, I mean, as a music junkie, there's just something about it.
Well, you know what? I think my favorite part about the music is the collaboration, the social aspect of it. When you're in a band, you're on a team, kind of, and that's really nice. The bands do consist of staff members and our client artists, just to help fill things out,
break up fights. Do we have any backstage drama?
Yeah, right. All the backstage drama. Yeah, right. Yeah. So.
Will you guys gig like on the first Fridays, the bands?
Yeah. So every fall we do a First Friday show here. And one time it was in the parking lot And then the next year we did it in the parking lot and it started raining right beforehand. So we had to move everything, including the stage, inside. Some things broke.
Yeah.
So we just set up inside from now on. Kind of downstairs we were at. That's where the stage goes.
In that main room.
Yeah.
There's the I guess the lobby you have, right?
Yeah. So the gallery's right when you walk in, that's the gallery that we have host all of our First Friday shows. And then that back room is just one of the main studio spaces.
Got it.
Yeah. And then we do host live, like when we do a concert.
I mean, this is a huge building. Do you have any idea the square footage? Like as a real estate guy, I'm like, what's the square footage here? Like,
I'm sure someone said it here. I'm sure someone said it around me before, but it just went right over. Like,
don't worry, I can look it up. I got.
Yeah, okay, that's.
I got resources.
I don't know what I'm gonna do for that information, so I'm not gonna hold on to it right now.
Yeah. So I know we've talked before that you guys are a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
So you got funding that comes in from donations. I would assume some city, county, state, maybe federal funding. Like how does that work?
Yeah. So a lot of our clients, at least it's not really my department, but I do know that some of the funding comes from Medicare or Medicaid.
Sure.
That kind of thing. Anything that would pay for a day program.
Yeah. Right.
So, or services. Yeah.
It's also advocacy. I see. I've seen a lot of signs that like you have rights. These are your rights. I think when you think about people with special needs, there's some abuse that definitely happens that I think people kind of turn a blind eye to, or maybe just don't even understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing is you were talking about with these signs and stuff around the building and reminding people what their rights are. And we're very much about making what we do here is what our clients, what our artists want to do. Right. And the last thing we want to do is misrepresent any of them as well. But I mean, that being said, everybody who works here is, trained medically to first aid, CPR, even to pass meds. We all have certificates and all those things. As well as, of course, we're like, reporter, we're a, what's the word I'm looking for?
In terms of,
if there was abuse, right? So when, like a teacher, like we have those same responsibilities. If someone comes to us and says something, that
raises some alarm bells.
We're mandatory reporters as well.
Got it. Okay. I don't, you don't have to disclose anything, names or anything like that, but has there been some cases where you guys have had to make the necessary calls and
we've had to do that before. But one thing, man, like I said, I've been here for a while, but there's only, I think out of the 12 to 15 employees that we've got here, I'm just not counting off the top of my head. Shit, sorry.
Someone didn't put their phone on silent.
Please pause for station 9.
Sorry, Dallin. I'm going to wrap this up real quick. Want to meet me at Border?
We're going to Border next.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, leave it. Yeah.
Knew it too. That's why I knew she's going to be calling. 12 to the employees they have on staff.
Yeah. So the employees we've got on staff, I think there's like 3 or 4 that haven't been here for over half a decade. Wow. So we're all very dedicated, very,
it's not just a team, it's a family, really.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. And we talk about it all the time. And it's like one of those things where being a professional, right? I should have a professional relationship with my clients, but when I see some of these people every day for the last 8 years and I've seen, their growth, I've seen things they've dealt with, in their own families. We've all been there for each other. And it really feels like that. It just feels like it's hard not to call some of these artists my friends. It's hard not to say that. Yeah, because they are. I really feel that way. I mean,
it's a very personal field.
Yeah.
I mean, it's art, so it's emotion and it's feelings, and it's for some people it's hard to process feelings or explain their feelings.
Yeah.
So you've got to, I think, navigate a fine line and be super chill to do that. So what is, as of this recording, it's April, when it comes out, it'll be May. What does the next half of the year look like for Imagine That? June, July, obviously the whole World Cup Shannon agrees is going to happen. But into the fall and into the winter, what do you guys have for this year?
Well, this next month in May is our In the Garden. And that is we usually do like our spring show is a garden themed, just to get people in the mood for the season, right? And it's a good reason for us to bust out a lot of the ceramics and stuff. If not for potters, we've been making like salsa bowls. So if you buy a salsa bowl, you'll get some planters to grow some salsa. Some we started some plants. We started some strawberry plants. We started some. I don't know what else they started, but tomatoes and jalapenos, right? And we've got little ceramic garden spikes, So this is where the peppers are, But it's just a little ceramic spike. So it's a really nice nice show to do something a little more thinking outside the box than just paintings on a wall,
right?
And then this.
So does every month have a theme then?
For the most part, and we're getting back into doing more First Fridays, like I said, with COVID and everything, kind of fell off. We've got a guest curator coming in June.
Okay.
Tanith is their name. I forget their last name, but that's my bad. But they're going to be coming in and doing a guest curation.
Okay, cool.
Then in September, October time, like I said, we're going to have another live show with the bands. At least here. If we don't have another gig somewhere else, we're going to have one here.
Yeah, sure.
And then one of our other staff is spearheading a themed show. It's called Wrong Size. It's going to be, everything's just going to be the wrong size.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Okay.
And then in December, we always do our Merry Market. And that's our big sale.
Okay.
That's our big sale. We bring everything out and we try to send people home with some artwork.
Yeah.
So
and how can people stay involved, follow you all, make donations if they've got, as of this recording, it's tax day, so hopefully you're getting a little refund. Oh God,
Yeah,
Parker!
right.
Oh my God, today? Yeah, today, buddy. But how I assume you all are on the social medias and all that.
Yeah,
on the internets. On Al Gore's creation.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah, but where can society at large find you guys?
On Instagram, it's Imagine That KC. Our website is imaginethatkansascity.org.
Okay.
Or imaginethatkc.org.
But if you just went in there and searched Imagine That Kansas City, it's going to bring it all up.
And, of course, on our profile, on our bio, there's the link tree to all of our, we've got an online store. We've got some band merch in an online store. We've got,
I might have to get that hat for my son. I think that's a Creedence hat for sure. Yeah.
We also have some, just Imagine That stuff. And then there's also, you'll find a bunch of different links to different stores, and our YouTube page, and all the music videos and short films that we make is on our YouTube page. So
you covering everything, music and video and woodworking and painting and sculpture. I know it's so like cliche to go, what's the one thing you want people to take away from Imagine That? But what is, if I can be cliche, what is the one thing you want, or a handful of things really? What's the one handful of things you want people to take away from Imagine That, but also the artists that are part of Imagine That?
I want people to see the full people. I want people to see every aspect and get to know, just see that everyone is three-dimensional, like I said, these people that I work with, are my friends. I know them so well. I know them as well as I know anybody else. But a lot of people don't know anybody from this community, and I want people, I hope that what we do here at Imagine That is give people a voice to make people want to get to know them, to give people a voice to give people the idea that, they might be short selling some people, or they might be,
undervaluing another person.
Yeah. I want people to see this community. I want people to see it and all of its strengths that it's got.
Thanks, man. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Once again, I want to thank Jay for spending some time with us today on Kansas City with Jason Evans. And as we talked about in the episode, imagine that Kansas City band I Threw a Chair will be throwing down this first Friday nights in the backyard at Border Brewing, boom, boom, in the East Crossroads. So you should definitely plan on coming out to this free show. And as you all know, I'm a nerd for old KC history. That is where Imagine That is posted up over there on 2010 McGee. And I looked up through newspapers.com a bunch of articles. It's basically just been like automotive. It was a shingles building. It sold shingles out of the building a long time ago. Had some fires. Nothing really worth exciting to tell you about. However, I was reading Pete Doolan's book, which is, where is that? There I am, Kansas City Beer. Can you see that? Bring it in. I guess I got the picture in the background, which he goes through the history of beer in Kansas City. And I found out that the building next door to Imagine That Kansas City, this one right here at 215 East 20th Street, built in 1895, used to house the William J. Lemp Brewing Company's depot. And Lemp is credited with presenting lager beer to Missourians in the mid-1800s because he was an immigrant. And Northeast News does a great job of laying out the history of the Lemp family and the size of the brewery they had. So I'll make sure to include a link in the bio. Oh, and also shout out to local attorney John McKay, who saved this old building from wreckage in 1985, and whose law firm McKay and Byerly still occupies the space today. And thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it greatly. Once again, kcjnmedia@gmail.com. Who should we chat with next? Who out there in Kansas City's got a great story to tell? We're always looking for people. And again, if you want to advertise, you want to join our advertising crew, you can hit us up on that email as well, kcjnmedia@gmail.com. And as always, thank you, super producer Parker, for making this all possible. Peace.
I ain't afraid. I got a bed with God.
Thanks for listening to Kansas City with Jason Nivens. We appreciate you, and make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hey, we'll catch you next time.